Welcome to today's episode of The Untold, a show where we explore the undiscovered in people's lives. I'm Najain Al-Athari, and I'm joined by Saad Al-Azmi. And today we're going to meet with Qais Alharmi.
Yes, today we will talk about studying abroad, how you can manage to study abroad and how it's fun.
Yes, Qais studied business and entrepreneurship. You and I studied English literature. But despite the degree, the experience of leaving your home and going to a whole new country far away for a couple of years to study is not easy, but it's also very fulfilling.
Yes, actually, if it's easier if you are not with expectations, especially great expectations, because you need things to go smoothly, so you go there with open mind. And today we will talk about that with our guest.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what he has to say, how the experience in the States shaped him, how his experience coming back to Kuwait was, because I know that you and I had similar experiences as well.
Yes.
So it's going to be very interesting to see what it's like from a fresh graduate almost, because we've kind of been here for a while now, so we've kind of forgotten the kinks of it all.
Yes, and we'll talk about the difference between studying in the UK and the United States. I think it will be very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Saad, but for me, it was an experience that really shaped who I am today. And I think our guest is going to give us some great advice on how you can go through this challenge and make the most out of it.
Yes, I agree with you. This is a life-changing experience, especially for youngsters going there, studying, taking your degree and coming back to Kuwait and knowing all about that, about yourself, about the world, about your major, whatever it is.
That was very well said. And with that, we are going to go on a short break, so stay tuned. And we're back from that short break. We're joined by Qais Alharmi. Qais, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I heard that you studied for 4 years abroad.
Yes, I did.
So could you tell us a bit about that? Was it difficult to move abroad and study?
Difficult? I don't think it was difficult. I think it's you need to learn how to adjust, but in general, it wasn't that difficult. There was a lot of work that needed to be done, but it was really pleasant.
And you studied in the States, right?
Yes, I did. I studied in Arizona, specifically Tucson, at the University of Arizona.
So before leaving Kuwait, the expectations, let's talk about what did you think about this trip will give you? And tell us about the reality after facing this trip.
I really didn't have any expectations.
Great.
Going into it, I was completely blind. My brother studied there, so I was kind of pushed by my dad to go study there as well, because it's always good to have someone you know there. But a lot of my friends also decided to study there for some reason. Like I said, going into it, I was just really planning on having, like trying to enjoy it as much as possible. Nothing specific in mind. I didn't have an idea of what I wanted to end up with. But
do you think that because your brother was there and your friends was there, it was easier for you?
100%, yeah. Having that support system really made it a lot easier for me and my friends as well. We kind of helped each other adjust, and it made it way more fun.
Yeah, I think when I went to the UK, I went alone and came back alone. So I have expectations, and the reality was different, actually.
It was the same for me, actually. I also studied in the UK, and I was the first to go, so I had no one there. And I didn't have many expectations, but it was a lot different than what you imagine in your mind sometimes.
Yes.
And especially in the beginning, making friends, finding the right people, the right crowds, and finding people who can be family abroad. It's not as easy as people might think, because you can make a lot of friends doesn't mean that they're good friends to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean
they can, like, they're good friends, but they're not family sometimes. They're not people who know you very well. It takes time to develop that relationship.
Yes.
So I also want to ask you, because I know a lot of people seem to think that going abroad is just about having fun. What would you say is the misconception about that?
Looking back at it, it was all fun. But at that time, like you'll be put in some situations that you always need to be like you always need to. I don't know how to explain it really well, but like you'll be put into different situations where you really don't know what to do. Like, for example, I'd say signing a lease for an apartment. That's not something I was ever planning on doing.
Yes.
And just like going into it blind, but you always have to do your research online just to kind of know that you're doing the right thing and know what you're getting yourself into. But I think that's one of the things that you really never know what's going to happen.
You felt the stress early days, of course, but later on, did you think that confidence after knowing what to do there make it easier for you and you had the advantage?
Yes, So let's go with this same example, like signing a lease. I was very lucky to have my brother be there, and a lot of my friends who were in the same school were also there, and they went there like a year before I did. So like that support system was like really made it easy. I know some people like you guys didn't have that privilege that I did. So I think you can explain that more better than I can.
But you lived alone, right?
No, I had in the beginning I had one roommate, and then I had two more roommates. My third year, third and fourth year, I had two roommates.
For me personally, in the very beginning, I was living in dorms for the first year because I didn't know anyone. It was kind of the safer environment for me to be in because I was like, you know, a girl from Kuwait going alone abroad. My parents were worried about me a lot. So I had to kind of be in the dorms, which was like near the uni. It's where I first made my friends. And later I had roommates that I met in the dorms and in my classes. And it wasn't until I did my final years that I chose to live alone, because by then I kind of gained the independence. And I'm more of an introvert, so I like my alone time, and I have a bit of OCD. So living with people, when you have that, is really difficult because you want things a certain way, and people can be very messy, is what I've noticed when I was living with people. So messy.
Actually, we have the same story. I like it alone. Right? Because you can have your own space, especially that I'm studying literature. I need to read more. It's different than any other major.
We studied the same thing, so I get that.
Yeah. So let's talk about homesick. Now, of course, you have your brother, but you miss your country. So tell us about that. When did that happen? Holidays or?
I think like my situation is going to be very different to a lot of other people's, because I started like I signed up and I applied during like the pandemic. So everything felt like super quick. Like it was just like I got accepted, and then within a flash I was there in my apartment with my friends. So I really didn't get homesick in the first year. It wasn't until like the second year where I was starting to notice like there's a lot of amenities that we have here in Kuwait, and alhamdulillah, that you just get used to living in Kuwait. That you don't get there. Like the biggest thing is like having your parents around, having your family around. Like friends will only get you so far, but you always need to have your parents around.
And the culture, actually.
Yeah, and actually, I think the biggest thing I think most of us would miss is the food. Like when I was abroad, especially like in the UK, like they have some good food, but it's not our food. Our food is so delicious, and it's like, you know, the food from the house is different than anywhere else.
Yeah. You talk about matchboos or?
Many things, because Anna, I actually have also Syrian grandmothers. I had a lot of mixed food growing up between like the different cultures. So all the food was always great.
So Arabic food, like Mediterranean.
Yeah, in general.
I think the UK, I think the United States are better than the UK.
In terms of that kind of
food. What do you think about food there? Not the American food.
Food, I mean, there's a huge, like in Tucson specifically, there's a huge foodie culture there, which is like helps out a lot. But one of my main goals before going there was that I needed to learn how to make like some like dishes that I really love. Like for me, it's mrabian, matbous, and maraq bamia.
All those are great. You're making me hungry right now.
I needed to know how to make those. So when I first got there, luckily one of my friends' dad, he's a chef. So he was also there. So he really did help us like establish, let's say like a good foodie sense in terms of like cooking, where to get the ingredients, stuff like that. And I also really loved food, like cooking in Kuwait. So that also helped me in like mitigating or lessening the homesickness. So like me cooking was like one of the big things.
Well, mashallah, because they seem to like cooking. And I had the opposite experience because I was never good at cooking. I was actually really bad in the kitchen. So I learned everything when I went there. But for instance, I messed up noodles the first time I made it. Like, that's how bad I am. Even the people I was with, they were like, how can you mess up noodles? This is the most simple thing you can possibly make. And a lot of them would take pity on me and just feed me their food because they're like, this girl is just eating chocolate all the time and like random stuff. We need to give her real meals.
I think I was in the middle of the UK and Nottingham. Nottingham, it's near Birmingham. Birmingham has a lot of Arabic restaurants. So I went there, whenever I feel like I want to taste the Middle East, I would go there. Of course, the culture shock. Now let's talk about the United States. I think it's more familiar. to the Kuwaitis because of the movies, because of everything. Tell us your story there.
So, like I said, I didn't really have
Any expectations?
yeah, I didn't have any expectations. I went to the US one time before I decided to go study there, and
Okay.
it was like 2 years before I graduated and started my bachelor's degree.
Right.
So I kind of had an idea, but I went to the super touristy places like Disney, Anaheim, LA, San Diego, the very touristy places. So the image in my head was like the entire US is gonna be like that.
Mm.
It wasn't like that in Tucson. Tucson is just like a small, I would say it's like a college town. It's such a nice place, but the main thing is the college there. Everything else is like it's not meant for like visitors for tourism.
Yeah.
So like the huge culture shock was when you start talking to people, like people from the US or people from, like we had a lot of international students there too, like from we had a lot of students from Asia, Australia. I know a couple of my friends are from, like a lot of people from Mexico and Latin America in general. So you kind of aren't used to one like culture. It's just like a melting pot of different cultures. So it's everyone's independent, but you also kind of like get lost between like different cultures. So it's
many shocks.
Yeah,
a bundle of shocks.
Yeah, instead of one huge shock, it's just like a bunch of smaller ones.
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. And I think also America, mashallah, it's huge. It's like a continent.
Yeah.
So I think every state has their own kind of thing happening. It's not like one big country where everyone is the same. Every state you go to, it's like a whole different environment.
Yeah.
Well, I was in London, so it's a very different situation. I was lucky that there was a lot of international students as well. Like I think had more international friends than I did British friends there, because there are so many different people who go there.
Yeah, same.
But it was very different, I guess, considering like some people had similar cultures, some had very different cultures, but it did help me get a new perspective on life. So I want to ask you about that. When you were there meeting these people, having your experiences, how did it change your approach to life?
I think this is something that I'm gonna say personally, and I'm like 90% sure you guys will probably agree with me, and anyone who has studied abroad will agree with me as well. We always compare we always compare what they have there to what we have here in Kuwait, and
yes,
alhamdulillah, we're like so blessed to have what we have.
Yes.
When you talk to people over there, like it's not as easy as it is here. Alhamdulillah, and that's something that I always keep remembering. I know, like talking to my friends, like a lot of people have to go through like poverty, which is like it's just something normal over there, unfortunately. But that's not something that we really see here. Alhamdulillah,
yes,
we're so blessed to have what we have here.
Yes. Is there a moment during your studies there that you thought to yourself that I am changed now? I think I have a new perspective of life or anything.
I wouldn't say it was one moment. It was just like towards the end in my like third or fourth year. At the beginning of my fourth year, I'd say, I kind of looked back at all the experiences I had and all the people I've met, and it was just like I compared like myself as a Kuwaiti to people there who've gone through like a lot of different things, and like one of the biggest lessons I've learned, like looking back at everything, is we should never take anything we have for granted. It's like alhamdulillah, I'll always keep saying that we're so blessed to have what we do.
Yes,
I agree. That's something I also think I experienced when I went there, is I know I was able to appreciate our culture more when I left, because the grass is always greener in every different place, depending on your point of view.
Definitely.
But when I went there, of course, there were some amazing things there, but there were some things that I couldn't believe that I was seeing. Because in Kuwait, we take it for granted all the time, especially the sense of like family and community. It's not the same there. And as I said, we have many blessings. We are going to go on a short break, and then hopefully we can talk about this more, because I think a lot of people can relate to this subject.
Yes.
So stay tuned for after the break. And we're back from that short break. So Qais, we were talking about your experiences abroad, and you studied marketing and entrepreneurship. And I want to ask you, did studying in that environment change your outlook of how life was here when you came back, or how you would use your degree?
I really didn't know how I was going to use my degree when I was coming back to Kuwait. I just had a bunch of ideas. I wanted to, like, once I got back home, I wanted to start and hit the ground running, but I was able to apply to a job, and alhamdulillah, I got accepted. So everything was left on the back burner. But when I was there, like, one of the very nice things that I learned there is that people, like especially students in the US, especially American students, they're always working, whether it be like a side job or something, or like they always have something to do. So what I really liked about like the people I met there is that they always were creative with what they did. So you'd see someone with an engineering degree, but he starts working in sales or something like that. And once he got into the job market, he already passed everyone else. He already has like 2-3 years of experience. So that's one thing I really wanted to start doing. So I tried to gain as much experience as on my own there in terms of like relating it to my own work.
Like getting a part-time job, like in supermarkets?
I didn't go down that route. I went down the route of like education, teaching. I was able to get into like a summer camp they had where we taught, I think it was like high school students about business in general. And the entrepreneurship program at the University of Arizona is like one of the, I think it was like one of the top 2 in the US. And it was just such a great experience because you actually worked on a business idea you and your group had. So we actually went in and like did all the research, and like we were almost like about to start that venture we were planning.
Yes, I think it's not easy working abroad, especially for youngsters when they finish the university and go to this. I think this is the best education you can get. Actually getting to the job.
Yeah, like I mean, any way, shape, or form, if you can get experience, I think that must be on like anyone's list of things to do once they like go to the US or study abroad in general, I think.
Yes.
What do you guys think?
No, honestly, that's really good advice. It's something I wish I'd known when I was in uni, because I didn't have any experience. I maybe had like one internship I did as a teenager. But when I came back to Kuwait and I was looking for a job, it was very difficult because I had no experience. Every single job wants experience. And it's like, how do I get experience without a job? So the fact that you started that from the beginning, I think that really helped with your career and everything.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. It really opens your eyes up to how they work there. Because like in the US, they have like such a strict work culture. That's like you work from I think it's like 9 to 5 on a daily basis. So getting that like mindset of learning how to work and how to be like creative and stand out in your job was such a blessing to have.
Yes, I think having a part-time job abroad, especially while you're studying. When I was in the UK, I was teaching refugees. They're from all parts of the world.
Wow, that's so cool.
And there were some from Arab countries. It was fun and it was difficult at the same time because they know me from outside the university. It was really the experience. I can rate that the best experience and the best moment that I had when I was studying. Now let's talk about when you came back to Kuwait. Now, after spending years abroad and coming back to Kuwait, tell us about the readjusting to Kuwait. How was it like?
I think I came back in December or like January of last year or this year, and I'm still kind of adjusting. It's
still,
because once you leave Kuwait and you're studying abroad, you're seen as I wouldn't say you're a kid, but you're still a young adult. But once you come back, you're a full adult, and that happened over the span of 4 years, and it passes so quick, and
you don't feel sad about that.
Yeah, because I don't feel sad about like leaving the US. Okay, like I felt sad about leaving my friends there and stuff like that.
Yes.
But you kind of like you left Kuwait as a young adult, and you're back as a full adult, and you're working a job, and you have a manager, which is just like completely crazy to me.
Yes.
I'm still getting used to that.
So what would you tell people who are coming back to expect from that adjustment period?
I really think it's I don't think it's going to be hard or easy. It's just something that's going to happen. It's and you have to get used to it. I mean, like what I did, I tried to mimic my routine that I had back in the US in Kuwait, which really did help me kind of settle and stuff like that. But like one of the things that really made it easy is that I kept thinking about the things that I missed when I was there. And once I came back here and I started to notice that I have them like all around me, it made things so much easier. But it is a period, and it does take time. I'm still getting.
I think it takes breakage from moving, or let's say shifting from one chapter to another. And you are shifting now. And now you are living the shift. It's been almost a year.
Yeah, it's crazy. You say it's time flew by so fast.
If you have any advice for people before coming back from studying, I think this is the moment that you tell them maybe they have 1 year left for them to study abroad, things that you missed there, because I have a few. I am sure that Lujain also.
I don't know if you guys can start with the things you missed first, but I might remember.
Actually, living the moment is very difficult. When someone says, live the moment, this is the moment, this is your moment. It was difficult during that time because you are studying to pass your grades. You have the stress. I learned about stress, anxiety.
Same.
Yeah, I was anxious. Actually, I didn't know about this word until I was there.
Same, actually. I had that only with uni as well. Like a lot of anxiety over the test, over the future and different things. And it's not something they teach you about when you grow up. It's something you just experience when you get there.
Yes, and living the moment, actually. I don't know about you, Lujain, but I think I miss the moment. But whenever I ask someone studying there, he said, you will never camp because the moment is with you. You need to appreciate it now. This is the philosophy of appreciation. So you need to appreciate your time.
I would say, other than maybe trying to get some work experience there before coming back so that it would make coming back easier, that's one. The other would be kind of living the moment as well, in terms of there's a lot of things you say that you're going to do because you think you have time, but the time passes so fast. So instead of waiting for later, just do it now. Go on that trip, go do this thing, go try this place before the time passes, because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think that, like looking back, if I had anything I regretted is that there were things I wanted to do so bad, but I completely just forgot about them. So if you have a year or two left, just make a list of all the things you want to do and just try to get most of them done. If you can get all of them done, I mean, you just did it.
Yeah, I mean, just doing some of them, I think, makes a big difference. And at least you leave thinking, at least I accomplished this stuff. I tried these experiences. And it gives you a more freshness when you come back. So on the other hand, when you came back, did you feel like a reverse homesickness for your time abroad?
I mean, yeah, because like I would say I grew up there. I became like a full adult there. I mean, I started doing things that I never thought I would do. Once you come back, it's like you left Kuwait as a young adult, and once you come back, you're an adult. It's just, I don't know. It's still like,
it blows your mind sometimes. I think also because you don't feel like you're an adult. You know? You still feel the same.
Yeah, I mean, some people still ask me how old I am. I still think I'm 18. I'm like 23 years old now, so it takes time.
I think this is difficult for everyone, especially even if you are in your 30s and you study there, especially if you spent many years there. It's difficult. Sometimes you have the emotional part of you there because you are afraid of this studying and staying alone, and you built this relationship with that person, which is you there, and you come back after graduation. So you feel good about what you did, which is the sense of accomplishment there. So that's why I think we face a lot hard time adjusting to Kuwait. I am adjusted now. I think you are in the phase still.
I think I have maybe a couple more months left, and then I'll be fully adjusted. I'm still getting used to waking up and going to work in the morning.
Yeah, no, I miss that about uni as well, because most of my classes were in the afternoon. I tried to avoid the morning classes when I could. I'm not a morning person. So there's many things, especially I think the freedom, and I don't mean freedom of what you do, but of time.
Yeah.
Because when you get a job, there's no going back. It's like after you finish school, you have the time between school and uni, and that's like the freest time to do like whatever, even if you just want to stay home in bed. Whereas the rest of the time, you always have work. You have to go to work. The time is limited in terms of you have leaves and stuff, you want to travel. I would suggest taking time to travel as well, if you can, of course.
especially in that break between like when you're first graduated until you get a job. So like that time, enjoy it as much as possible. Like
Yeah,
try to
that's what I did when I came back. When I first came back, I took some time before I started a job because I wanted to go visit some places and just enjoy my time traveling, because I knew that once I started work, it's a very serious part of life, and you kind of work until you retire, you know. So it's a very different adjustment to make.
Yes. I think this is the time, actually, the break. Some people, they take 1 year. I took 8 months, and I took the advice of the late Steve Jobs. He said, if you want to do foolish things, he meant that in a positive way. If you have things to do it during that time. Without a family, without a job, you have nothing to lose. I think this is the best. I hope my advice goes to the viewers with a positive thing, especially traveling. Traveling alone.
I agree.
Trips. I took a lot of solo trips. It was the best. What do you think?
I never got into solo trips. I was always had my friends
consider that
bothering me with because I was the planner and
you're the one who gets the trip going then.
I was like the parent that always had to make sure everyone.
There's always one in the group. You're doing the work, honestly.
Yeah, that's another piece of advice. Find a friend who's going to be that person and try to make them as happy as possible.
But I am with Saad as well, because a solo trip is completely different than when you're with your friends. And when I was doing that kind of gap year kind of as well, I went on my first time abroad because my friends were busy, they had jobs, they had other things. And I was like, you know what? I have nothing, I want to travel. There are things I want to do. And then I was like, you know what? Why am I waiting for people? I'm going to just go and do it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And I went and I did it, and I was so scared. I remember the night before the first flight, I was overthinking everything. I was like, what am I doing? I'm going to a country alone. What's wrong with me? But then I went and I did it, and I had an amazing time, an amazing experience. I met people there. I learned more about my independence and what I could do. So I would recommend that for everybody as well.
And I appreciate the hardships, especially during these trips, because they can teach you a lot about you, Lujain, because you will have some bad time, especially traveling alone. I went to many countries with one-way ticket. I never took that, actually. One-way ticket to go there, and then from there to another country, one-way ticket like this. This is the trip that I really suffered a lot, but I learned a lot about myself.
Yeah, I think it does make you more resilient, and I think if you can, maybe try to do that yourself.
We are not advising you.
No, I had a couple of times where I wouldn't say they were like a full trip, but like the drive from Tucson to Phoenix, that's like sometimes it's like I think it's like a 2-hour drive. So there were times that I had to do it alone.
Yeah.
But nothing too crazy. I mean, that's the most.
Well, it's the first step, and honestly, I want to first wish you the best of luck with the rest of your time here, and I hope that your jobs and endeavors go in the best way possible.
Thank you.
You're still young, keep that in mind. You have your whole future ahead of you, and now is the time to make mistakes as well.
Yes.
So do what you got to do, and inshallah, everything will work out.
Yes. Thank you so much, Qais, and I really loved your story and everything we talked about here, and we wish you all the best, and we appreciate you coming here to the Untold.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, it was wonderful to have you.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
And with that, guys, we are going to go on a short break. And we're back from that short break. And I hope you guys enjoyed the episode with Qais as much as we did.
Yes, I loved the interview with Qais. Actually, he was very simple, and he gave us really insight about how to deal with coming back. Actually, the homesickness going there and the reverse homesickness coming here and readjusting to Kuwait.
Yeah, he was lucky that he had friends and a brother there already. I think that helps a lot.
Yeah.
I think you and I didn't have that. We had to go alone. However,
I wanted to go alone.
Me too, to be honest. I wanted to escape things a little bit, you know?
It was a good idea to go alone. I'm really lucky to have nobody there, but I left with many friends.
I agree. I also made so many friends when I was there, and it helped me become who I am. And I also think I loved hearing Qais' perspective, and he's a lot smarter than I am because he did some work experience before he came back, and so was able to get a job easily. I struggled with that.
We studied literature.
It's
difficult. Yeah, difficult.
It's not like business or some other stuff or sciences.
Yes.
Like, it's mainly reading, you know?
Yes.
It's the study of the life of the world, almost, you could say.
I have a hint of studying there, teaching actually. It was for 2 weeks. It was nice, but it was not the full experience. As Qais said, he had the full experience of education, continuing his education in marketing.
Yeah, and he was also very smart that he learned how to cook and do things before he went. This is all stuff that if I could go back in time and tell myself, I would do that as well. learn how to cook before you go, maybe learn how to do laundry and other little things that you don't do growing up, you know?
Actually, you need to have this experience there.
Yeah.
It's better to keep it for there. Yeah.
Yeah. And I do love that when he came back, he was able to adjust quite well. He's still adjusting, but he is young. And I think that he has his whole future ahead of him. And I think given what he said about his experience there, the way he's going to continue his life here, I think it has a lot of promise.
Actually, it took me more than 2 years to readjust to Kuwait because I loved my time there. It was a life-changing experience studying abroad, the UK, and I'm sure it's for you as well. And we hope all the best for Qais and his story, and I hope he can readjust very soon.
I hope he does too. It did take me a while as well. And viewers, I hope you guys know that studying abroad is a worthy experience, and I hope you try it yourselves. And that's all we have for today. We'll see you next time.
Take care and goodbye.